Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. April 4th, 2018.
The Kuhner Report is powered by Kelly Financial Services. Cleaning up your financial bull. Get the peace of mind that you deserve at Kelly Financial Services.
2:05 here on the great WRKO. Okay, my friends, Fox News now backs Laura Ingraham in her war with Camera Hog. St. David Hogg. In fact, we got a call from Sandy. Remember the fortune teller? We had her on before. She says she can't come on the air, but she's urging me and wants me to share this message with all of you. Stop referring to him by his name. Just call him, quote unquote, the ignorant teenager who wasn't even shot at. So anyway, Fox News has now said, even though they have lost 1/3 of their advertisers who have participated now in this economic boycott, spirited by, that liberal leftist punk, they say they're going to stick with Laura Ingraham. She's coming back from her vacation. On Monday, she'll be back on her show. So far, Laura Ingraham 1, David Hogg 0. I have a column up at WRKO.com/Kuhner, Kuhner. Click on menu, Kuhner's Corner. There it is, David Hogg, liberal punk. I give him the political, ideological spanking that this kid deserves. I also expose him for the charlatan, the fanatic, and the liar that he is. So if you want a real expose of this kid, I just did it. And so I'm urging all of you, please read it. Go to WRKO.com/Kuhner. Click on Kuhner's Corner and send it off to as many of your friends and colleagues as possible. And to all of my liberal critics out there, those of you that have been trying to take me off the air now for nearly 6 years here in Boston, I'm begging you, please make my day. Send that little runt, that little spoiled brat, send him my column. I'm begging you. I hope he tries an advertising boycott on my show with me, because I won't apologize, and I will give him a political, ideological war like he's never seen. So please, you think you can take me off the air? Ask that punk to come in the arena with me. The radio intellectual arena. And I'm going to give him the spanking that he deserves. All right? I will put him in his place so fast, his head's going to spin. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay. Hogg says he's going to continue to boycott Fox. He wants the advertisers to continue to boycott not just Laura Ingraham, but the entire Fox News network until Laura is forced off the air and Fox embraces a pro-gun control agenda. Is the left now in full all-out assault on freedom of speech? 617-266-6868. And as I suggest in my column, we have the 12 companies that buckled under pressure. Should we now boycott them and let every other business know, if you try to buckle or silence or muzzle conservatives, you're going to pay a tremendous economic price? 617-266-6868. Lines are loaded. Jerry in Dedham, you're up next. Go ahead, Jerry. Hello, Jerry.
Hey, Jeff, what's happening?
Hey, Jerry, go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'm going to start off by saying I'm gonna buy the My Pillows tonight for any sponsors listening. That's how we should be.
Thank you, Jerry.
David Hogg is just a pawn of their system, and if he does go, I assume someone else is just going to jump right in. I'm curious if anybody's ever asked him questions before off guard, and if he was able to answer them.
Well, Jerry, as I point out in my column, he's asked. It's a very friendly interviewer. And the interviewer just says to him, okay, let's say you're president. That's what he says. Let's say you're president, what specific reforms would you advocate? The kid goes nuts. He goes nuts. I'm blanking 17. I'm just a blanking kid. I shouldn't have to blank and deal with this. So forget off guard. You just say, okay, you're the one with the biggest mouth. Gun control, ban the guns, ban Second Amendment, abolish the Second Amendment. Okay, but concretely, though, I mean, what do you want? Just give me specifics. And suddenly, well, I'm a kid. You shouldn't ask me that question. So that shows you he's nothing but a puppet. He's an empty shell. He's a mouthpiece for the forces that yank his chain.
Yes, you're right. This deep state is very strong, and they're controlling him, and they're controlling everybody.
Jerry, thank you very much for that call. Look, the media... he's a creation of the liberal media. You want to know what this kid is? They elevated him. He's got his mother, who's a rabid never Trumper, his father, who's a rabid never Trumper, a former FBI hack. And the media said, look at this kid. We can groom him. We give him the talking points. He's like an actor. Boy, the guy can deliver his lines better than anybody. And they froze out everybody else. So they want all of you to think that he speaks for the school, he speaks for the victims, he speaks for the students, he speaks for the dead. He doesn't. He doesn't. They hate him at his own school. But the media won't tell you that. Joe in Stoughton, you're up next. Go ahead, Joe.
Hello to you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Joe?
Thank you, sir. I am the best. I'm calling because I want you to know that what you're proposing, it does work. As a matter of fact, it works so well that the liberals are doing it right now against 27 companies. And if you really want to see this work in action, do remember when the President of the United States was running for president, and he said that, let's make sure I'll paraphrase. He said that immigrants that were coming into the country were murderers and thieves, right? Something like that. Am I wrong?
Murderers, thieves, rapists, I think he mentioned.
Yeah. And so what happened is, I recall, in the summer of 2015 and moving forward, Macy's stopped selling the Trump line of menswear.
Yes.
And if you can recall, almost every single conservative said, okay, you think that's the way to do business? We won't shop there. And right now, Macy's is on the brink of destruction, wherein 100 stores have been 100 have been planned to be closed very soon. They are in Chapter 11. This does work, folks. This does work.
Oh, Joe, listen, great call. Great call. Thank you for that call, Joe. Look, you're completely right. And just common sense, just objectively stand back, okay? Because I know we're kind of in the middle of a firestorm here, and sometimes emotions can take over. Just objectively stand back. Who has all the economic power in this country? We do. Why? Because we work. Either we work or we're retired, right? We've been working and saving our whole lives. So we're the economic backbone of this country. We're the ones that work. We're the ones that pay the taxes. We're the ones that have jobs, or as I said, or retired. We've been working and saving our whole lives. So it's not the people. I mean, the people on welfare have our money, but they're not rich. I mean, they're not living high on the hog. So the welfare deadbeats, these special interest groups, all they have is time. They have time. They sit at home. They've got nothing better to do. They're collecting a welfare check. They follow this punk, this David Hogg, and they call and they email and they text and they shame and they bully. But we're the ones with the purchasing power. We're the ones with the disposable income. So we can potentially break any company that we want. Now, we didn't start this fight. We don't, in theory, I don't like economic boycotts. Look, I don't go around saying, oh, Chris Matthews, who are his advertisers? Take him out. I mean, think of the logic of this. I mean, I read a newspaper. Oh, look at this column. I don't like this person's point of view. Well, who advertises in the Wall Street Journal? Okay, let's boycott them. Or who advertises in the New York Times? Oh, let's boycott them. Because why? I know some people advertise because they just want to reach customers. That's all. Okay, New York Times has 1 million readers. Let me advertise there. Kuhner Report, hottest show on WRKO. Let's advertise on the Kuhner Report. I want customers. So, in theory, I don't like boycotts. I don't. And I'll tell you why. I'm defending Laura Ingraham out of principle. A, she's a friend of mine. I like her and I know her. But more than that, it's out of principle. Now, I'll be candid with you, okay? I mean, it's an open secret. Laura Ingraham, and God bless her, she's earned it, she deserves it. She's done very well for herself. So, if she lost her job at Fox, she's not going hungry. You know, she's done well. She's made some money in her career, as she should have. She worked very hard. But, you know, she's not going to go starving. But I know the people who work behind the scenes. When you knock somebody off, you're not just taking food out of their mouth and that of their children. You're knocking off the Britneys. You're knocking off the Jareds. You're knocking off people who work behind the scenes, who help you be successful in your career. How come nobody thinks about them? So what these companies did was, to me, not just treacherous. It wasn't just craven and cowardly. It was, to me, blatantly immoral. And I think it's time now that we set a precedent and we teach them a lesson. You want to wage a war on conservatives? You want to wage a war on freedom of speech? You want to start censoring and silencing and bullying people simply because you disagree with their point of view? No problem. No problem. It's a free country. You want to be politically correct? Be politically correct. But just as you have the right to boycott, we have the right to boycott. So, who do you think your future customer is? Now, Johnson & Johnson, you know, for babies, especially crybabies, maybe David Hogg could be a good customer for him. Mommy, could you get me the baby shampoo? This stinks. I don't like the big person shampoo. I'm just a kid. Give me Johnson & Johnson. So, yes, maybe for Johnson & Johnson, they may get some of the millennial spoiled brats, the snowflakes out there. But outside of Johnson & Johnson, I'm looking at Office Depot. I'm looking at Expedia. I'm looking at Nestle. I'm looking at Hulu. I'm looking at, hell, Liberty Mutual. That's us. That's all us. We could break them if we wanted to. And if we do that, every business and company is going to say, you know what? I'm not playing the left's game anymore. Why? Because I don't want to go broke. We have to make our stand and make it now. Are you with me? Freddie in Beverly, you're up next. Go ahead, Freddie.
I want to make a couple of points.
Yes.
I totally agree with you. He is a creation of the media. Have you noticed how the media makes celebrities out of all these survivors of the mass shootings? Before the bodies have even hit the ground, these guys have their scripts, and they're on this show, they're on that show, talking. And the behavior of these survivors isn't at all normal. I don't know if you remember Tiffany Stay. She was a 15-year-old who was the lone survivor of a massacre in Texas when her ex-uncle broke into the home and shot both her parents and all four of her siblings right next to her.
Yes.
Supposedly she deflected the bullet with her finger. I don't know how you do that, but 2 days later, she's at the funeral for these people, and they're throwing balloons for her family, all dead, killed in front of her. They're shooting balloons up in the air. They're all like cheering her. She's riding on the top of a limo with the thing open, and she's waving, giving everybody the devil horns or the Go Rock thing and saying, stay strong, and smiling and laughing. It's like this is like a birthday party instead of a funeral. And one other question I'd like to ask is, they don't blame the sheriff's department that stayed out there, had the guns, and they stood out there, did nothing. The FBI knew this guy was a danger, did nothing. How come there's no suits coming out against these people? Instead, they're going after the NRA and gun owners and ignoring these people that could have stopped it and did nothing. It's all agenda-driven, every bit of it.
Bingo. Freddie, I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for that call. John in New Hampshire, you're up next. Go ahead, John.
Love you in an unsexual way.
Thank you, John. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. What's on your mind?
Well, I just want... They had the kid talk. He's 17. I says, now who are they going to have next? And they had the girl, 11 years old, Martin Luther King's granddaughter. That's awful. Using the kids for this stuff. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Look, I would never do that to my own children. Politicize them like that. Use them as political weapons and pawns to advance anybody's agenda. I don't care. Conservative, liberal, pro-gun, anti-gun. Leave the kids alone. Janine in Seattle, you're up next. Go ahead, Janine.
Hey, greetings from the Northwest to the Northeast.
Janine!
I hope you all had a happy Easter.
Great to have you back. Welcome, Janine.
Thank you. I spoke with a mutual friend of ours recently, and I got to tell you, this creepy kid, which is what I'm going to call him, his parents failed him, first of all. Okay? This guy, isn't he traveling all over the country? Shouldn't he be in school?
Well, he says he's not going back to school, I kid you not, until they pass sweeping gun control legislation in Congress.
Well,
so he's not going back to Janine. I'm telling you, he's not going back to school.
Well, probably because he flunked out. He's a big zero. Anyway, I just want to say he picked a fight with the wrong person. Him against Laura Ingraham, please. She's going to chew him up and spit him out like an appetizer.
Janine, I'm just curious, what do you make of the fact that she, Fox has stood by her, good for them, but that she initially apologized? I honestly thought that was a mistake. I think that only emboldened them. What do you think?
I agree, too, because, if he's going to sit there and try to tell adults what to do, then he's putting himself in adult status. So don't be surprised and don't come hiding behind some skirt saying, hey, I'm just a 17-year-old kid. No. You picked a fight with the wrong person. If you want to act like an adult, then this is what happens between adults.
Janine, thank you for that call. And don't be a stranger, Janine. Call us more often.
I'll try.
God bless you, Janine. Thank you for that call.
Oh, okay, bye.
Take care. 617-266-6868. Okay, David Hogg versus Laura Ingraham. Whose side are you on? And now that Fox has backed Laura, is this the end of Camera Hog? Or are we cursed to see this kid on our screens forever? Your calls next. 225, 226 now on the great WRKO. Tom in New Hampshire, you're up next. Go ahead, Tom.
Hi, Jeff. Good afternoon.
Hi.
I was talking to your producer, one of your producers there, and I told him, I said, I asked him, and I'm going to ask you the same question. What did Scaramucci do when they attacked him, tried to bring him down? I think he went after CNN. I don't know what the terms were, but CNN backed right off. I don't know. Do you have any knowledge on what Scaramucci did to?
Oh, he threatened to sue their pants off.
I think that's what should happen in this case with this kid. They need to be taught a lesson. Somebody needs to be sued so they back off completely, and then CNN won't want anything to do with that.
Tom, thank you very much for that call. Look, I agree. It's time. We got to fight back. Because they're trying to bully us, silence us, intimidate us. And, it's that old saying, if you remember from Nazi Germany, they came for the Jews, I said nothing. They came for the liberals, I said nothing. They came for the conservatives, I said nothing. When they came for me, it was too late. So that's what they're trying to do. They want to purge conservatives from the media. And they're using him as their battering ram. Well, okay. Listen, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. So you want to be tough enough to start calling for the destruction of people's careers? Then don't complain when people criticize you. Paul in New Hampshire, you're up next. Go ahead, Paul.
I just calling. I just want to let people know that, this boycott business goes both ways. I don't have all the sponsors that Laura endorses, or had endorsed, but I'm a big supporter of the Liberty Mutual Insurance. I've had them for over 30 years with insuring 4 cars and a homeowner's insurance. Well over $5,000 every year I pump to these people. For 30 years I did that. Well, this is the last straw. I'm not taking that anymore. I've got all my policies up for review, and I'll be canceling that policy and letting them know it's specific because they support this David Hogg's ideology.
Paul, good for you. Good for you. Thank you. Honestly, Paul, I can't thank you enough because, look, what you're seeing now, this is a middle American uprising. We have the economic power. We have been a silent majority. We have to stop being silent. And if we stop being silent and push back, the left will stop bullying us. And I said it on yesterday's show, and I want to repeat it. If not us, who? If not now, when? Lou in Rhode Island, you're up next. Go ahead, Lou.
How you doing, Dave? I mean, Dave.
Lou, I didn't insult. Whoa, I didn't insult you, Lou. Why did you call me after David Hogg? What did I do to you, Lou?
I was going to talk about him. All right, Jeff. I'm sorry. That's a horrible insult. I know it. I don't know if you saw the Little Davy thing where he's like Little Debbie. It's the cutest little cartoon. But anyway, I called you a couple of weeks ago. And I told you it wasn't about the omnibus bill or about the budget or anything like that. It was about freedom and the Constitution. That's why we voted for Trump, and that's why we need to get out there and vote again coming up next. That's exactly what they want. They don't want just the Second Amendment. They want the First Amendment. And, this David Hogg, Glenn Beck has this very interesting, he does this display where he shows all the groups that back him up and backed up this march. It's like a rogues gallery of leftists, starting with Soros and Planned Parenthood and Farrakhan, and those are the people who want to end free speech. And I'll tell you something, this kid, they backed the wrong horse because he is one of the most obnoxious, unlikable people that you could ever imagine. We're seeing it now. We're seeing how vulgar he is. And, he's turning off people left and right as the days go by. And he and the Democratic Party, the DNC, and the fake news media are stuck with this kid. But he's just nothing but an obnoxious twit, and everybody knows it. And everybody says, I would never like to have my kid act like that, to be so bossy and so vulgar. And I think as the days go by and we keep seeing he's bossing us around, telling us what to do, telling us what not to watch, what not to buy, it's just going to backfire right in their face.
Amen. Amen. Lou, thank you very much for that call. 617-266-6868. Okay, let me ask you this question. Should Trump pull all U.S. forces out of Syria? He now says yes. Should we? We'll continue to take your calls. We'll discuss that. But first, President Trump is again defending his new tariffs on China. China is retaliating. Are we now in a trade war? Evan Heidenrich is in the WRKO newsroom. He has all of those details. Take it away, Evan.
Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel.
2:36 here on the great WRKO. Okay, tune in for the WRKO box office queue to call Thursday at 8:30, 2:30, and 5:30 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see David Blaine at the Box Center Wang Theater Sunday, July 1st. For tickets and information, visit Ticketmaster.com. All right, the co-host of Saturday's Kelly Financial Services show, my good friend, John Boudris is calling in. John, how are you, my friend?
I'm fine, and my head is about ready to blow off every time I hear about David Hogg. But here's what I did. When I heard about what was happening with the Laura Ingraham show, I immediately got on the phone, and I called up Liberty Mutual, and I called up AT&T. Both companies do advertise with her. They have not pulled their ads, but I with them for each of them for 15 years. And it is amazing if you're a customer and you express your outrage, how much attention you'll get. And I have
John, the phone connection is horrible. We can't hear a word that you're saying. Try to call back again. 617-266-6868. Okay. Speaking of Kelly Financial, the Kelly Financial poll question of the day. Should Trump pull all U.S. forces out of Syria? You can vote on my Twitter page at the Kuhner Report, Kuhn as in Nancy, ER, or go to WRKO.com/Kuhner. So if you think we should pull all U.S. forces out of Syria, you can just, A is, yes, A, yes. If you believe no, we should leave some behind, B, no. Vote at the Kuhner Report, Kuhner on Twitter, or go to WRKO.com/Kuhner. Okay. In a move that has stunned the establishment in Washington, from Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi to lay down and love me Lindsey Graham and Mitch the Squish McConnell, President Trump came out and said that now that ISIS has been defeated in Syria, the caliphate has been smashed, ISIS is no longer a serious fighting force either in Syria or in Iraq. Our troops were there. Mission accomplished. It is now time to bring them home. Listen now to President Trump. Announce we are going to be withdrawing all U.S. troops and forces from Syria sooner rather than later. Roll it, Brittany.
We spent... and I was against it from the beginning. They try and say, well, maybe not. I was against it from the beginning. And by the way, we're knocking the hell out of ISIS. We'll be coming out of Syria like very soon. Let the other people take care of it now. Very soon. Very soon we're coming out. We're going to have 100% of the caliphate, as they call it, sometimes referred to as land. We're taking it all back quickly. But we're going to be coming out of there real soon. Going to get back to our country, where we belong, where we want to be.
My friends, if you look now at the opinion polls, there has been a spring surge for Trump. The latest poll now has him popping at 51% approval. The media is trying to claim it's a fake poll, it's fake news, the numbers aren't that high. Whatever you think the number is, 45, 47, 48, 50, 51, what is clearly going on now is that as the economy continues to boom, 241,000 new jobs were created in March alone. Manufacturing is now pouring back into the United States. Trump's numbers are going up and up and up. And what were the three unique things about Donald Trump that distinguished him from all the other Republicans in the primaries and made a clear contrast with Hillary Clinton, and why the establishment Republicans and the Democrats hate him? Because if you look at tax cuts, or if you look at deregulation, or if you look at appointing conservative judges, which are all great, please don't get me wrong, they're conventional Republican issues. On those issues, he's just a conventional Republican. But what is uniquely Trumpian were really three issues. Number one, to secure the border. And he's now announced that he's going to be sending the National Guard to go all along and police our southern border until a wall is finally built. So he is now doing everything in his power to militarize and secure the border. Number two, he vowed to restore our industrial might and bring back industry and manufacturing to the United States, especially to the heartland, the so-called Rust Belt. So what's going on now? Manufacturing is up, but more importantly, he is finally imposing tariffs on China. Chinese aluminum, Chinese steel, $50 billion worth of Chinese products. The Chinese are now retaliating. They are now imposing tariffs on American planes, American cars, American chemicals, American soybeans, up to $50 billion. I say great. I'm honest with you. This is the more we have this trade conflict with China, the more this is going to lead to more jobs coming back, less manufacturing fleeing to China, and more of our industry being protected. So on the first issue, the stronger he's on that, the more his numbers go up. On the second issue, the stronger he is on China and protecting our economic manufacturing, the stronger his approval numbers go up. And the third issue that he ran on, was that he was going to stop our endless wars in the Middle East. The trillions of dollars that we have spent in Iraq, in Libya, in Yemen, in Afghanistan, and in Syria. Those were the three issues. That was the heart of his America First agenda. Secure the border, restore our industrial might, bring back manufacturing, and number three, stop all of these endless wars, especially in the Middle East. So I look at Syria. I now see ISIS smashed, the caliphate gone, ISIS on the ropes. We have beaten them in Syria. We've routed them in Iraq. My friends, it's time to bring the boys home. We're not in the nation-building business, and we shouldn't be in the nation-building business. Whoever governs Syria, that's up to them. But as long as it's not radical Islam. And so we were there to defeat ISIS. We've defeated ISIS. If Bashar Assad ends up being the winner, and I think he will, Bashar Assad poses no threat to the United States of America. None. So why are we still in Syria? In fact, I'll be honest with you. I would go one step further. I think it's time to pull our troops out of Iraq. I think it's now time to tell the Afghans, we've been there now for what? 17, 18 years? This is our longest war. How long are we going to stay in Afghanistan? We have a porous southern border. Our border is basically non-existent. We have now illegals crossing in again at record levels. Let's bring our troops home from Syria and put them along the southern border. We shouldn't be in Syria anymore guarding Syria's borders. It's time to start guarding our own borders. We were there to destroy radical Islam. We were there to destroy ISIS. Mission accomplished. Sometimes we have to learn to take victory for an answer. We achieved it. Let's come home. Pull all forces out of Syria. Agree, disagree, 617-266-6868. Okay, do we have John back? Yes. All right, John Boudris, we got you back. John, your cell phone, we had a horrible connection. It just died. So you were saying you were stunned when you made a call to some of these companies, when you complained, and then we lost you. Hello, John. Did we lose John? Okay, let's try to reconnect with John. Tim in Drake-It, you're up next. Go ahead, Tim.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Tim?
Excellent. Yes, we are on board with you. Yes, I agree that Laura Ingraham should not have apologized. She did nothing wrong. When's the last time you heard a liberal apologize for anything? The other thing is I hate to say this, but this is sort of true that I feel that conservatives generally being more, people that have more of a conscience and more morals. They like to fight fair. They don't hit below the belt. But we are in a situation where the opposition is not fighting fair. This is not an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. This is an eye for a broken nose and a lost tooth. It's absolutely a war, and I don't know if people realize it. The good of the conservatives, the way that they carry themselves with morals and decency, the opposite side does not have that. And as a matter of fact, if somebody was to push me on the ground, I would do more than just push them back. I would end the conflict so that I guess what I'm saying is we've got to fight with fury. Thank you.
Tim, we lost Tim. Okay. Let me ask you this, all of you. Let me ask you this question. I put you in a ring. You're a boxer. Okay? You're a boxer. You've got your trunks and you've got your boxing gloves on. And you're fighting an MMA cage fighter. He's got no gloves. He can kick you. He can chokehold you. He can hit you with his bare knuckles. So I don't care how good of a boxer you are. You're not going to win. Or you're just not going to win. Now, you're a boxer. You don't want to hit below the belt. You can't use your feet. You can't wrestle. You can't kick, right? You've got gloves on that shield a little bit, cushion your blows. Well, if you fight a half decent MMA mixed martial arts fighter, they're going to clean your clock. They're going to destroy you. The left are engaging in MMA cage fighting. I'm telling you, that's what this is. It's an all-out brawl. They use elbows, they use fists, they use kicks, they use chokeholds, they use wrestling maneuvers. If they could bite your ear off, they'll bite your ear off. And we conservatives are always like, the rules, the regulations, keep both fists up, boxing gloves on. Jeff, that's a little bit below the belt there, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. We're supposed to be better than that, Jeff. And that's why we keep losing. And so what I'm trying to sound the alarm on is to say, look, it's a cage fight. It just is what it is. It's a cage fight. They're in it to win. So let's take the gloves off. Let's take the boxing trunks off. And let's get into a cage fight. They use chokeholds. We use chokeholds. They punch. We punch. They kick. We kick. And I'm telling you, we are bigger. We're stronger. We're better. We can beat them. But only if we decide to fight MMA style. Joe in Somerville, you're up next. Go ahead, Joe.
Hello, it's Joe Cosatone calling. Jeff, I got a little problem with you here, Jeff. I heard you're bad-mouthing my boy, David Hogg. What are you bad-mouthing him for? You got a problem? He's going to be next in line for mayor of Somerville when I'm all done with him. He's a bad boy. There's a problem with him, Jeff.
So, Mayor, you want what? You want him to be your successor? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Remember that show, The Dukes of Hazzard? They had that guy, Boss Hogg. I call him Boss Hogg. David Hogg, Boss
Hogg. What did I tell you? The best audience in the business. Okay, my friends, the Kelly Financial poll question du jour, as the French would say, of the day. Trump now says he's going to pull all U.S. forces out of Syria. Should he withdraw all of our troops out of Syria? That's the question. If you believe A, yes. If you believe the answer is yes, A. The answer no. B, you can vote on my Twitter page at the Kuhner Report, Kuhner, or you can go to WRKO.com/Kuhner, Kuh, N as in Nancy, ER. Brittany, what are the poll results thus far?
68% yes, 32% no.
Interesting. Giggs in Weymouth, you're up next. Go ahead, Giggs.
Yes, hi, Jeff.
Hi.
Yeah, Jeff, I was just going to say, we got to beware of these giant puppet masters like Soros and the Hildebeest, people that are working behind the scenes using the youth, the young people, and that, what's her name, Elizabeth Warren there. It's time for her to give up her seat at Harvard to a real Native American or minority, since, Harvard was the place where affirmative action was originally conceived. They should give up all of their seats to minorities because Harvard was built on the land of a former slave owner.
Giggs, thank you very much for that call. Well, you see, that's the thing about liberals. They're complete hypocrites. So, they want to rig the affirmative action system for them, but they want to use it against us. That's just how they roll. But you're completely right. Soros is bankrolling this. Planned Parenthood is behind it. Louis Farrakhan is behind this whole anti-gun movement. And Hogg is simply their puppet. That's all. He's a creation of the media. That's it. That's all. And I've got to give the devil his due, okay? He knows how to read his lines. They give him his talking points, and there he is. He knows how to play the left-wing militant to a T. To a T. Sean Penn couldn't do a better job. Aaron in New Hampshire, you're up next. Go ahead, Aaron.
Good afternoon, Jeff. Thanks for taking my call, brother.
My pleasure, Aaron.
All right, comment and a question on Syria.
Yes.
The comment is, at a certain point, all these countries over there, this is their backyard. All these countries that keep preaching peace and Islam is a religion of peace and all of this, it's time for them to put their money where their mouth is. Because America has gone in, we made the sacrifice, we put in the work, we've done all the dirty work. If they're really serious about peace, it's time for them to put in their work. ISIS will never, ever go away. But we've contained it enough now where it should be extremely easy for them to take care of it. And it's time for them to put their money where their mouth is and do that. Now, my question is, do you think, and I'm not bagging on Trump, but do you think Trump's pulling an Obama here? Because on the campaign trail, Trump was berating Obama for telling ISIS when we were going to leave Iraq, I believe it was. And he was saying, how stupid is that when you're going to tell the enemy when we leave? Do you think Trump's making that mistake?
Well, Aaron, I think the big difference is we've won. I mean, that's the difference. The caliphate is gone. Raqqa has been smashed. ISIS has been completely routed and destroyed. They're down to maybe 15 fighters left in Syria. So what Trump is saying is we've chased them and defeated them in Syria. So now the establishment in Washington wants us now to essentially use our forces to topple Assad, to pick sides in that civil war between the anti-Assad rebels and Assad. And what Trump is saying is that's for the Syrians to decide. ISIS was our only threat. We destroyed and defeated ISIS. Now, who runs Syria after that? Leave that to the Syrian people. So that's the difference, is that Obama telegraphed our move without achieving our goals. We've now achieved our goals. And you see, what's going on, Aaron, is this. What Trump is signaling now to the establishment and to the world, we're no longer going to be the world's global cop. We're not going to be there sticking our nose in every country, sending our boys and girls to fight and die for everybody else's war and everybody else's cause. What he's saying is we're going to put America and America's national interest first. Our national interest was to defeat ISIS. We defeated ISIS. Now we're bringing the boys home.
You know, Jeff, the sad thing is that the globalists want us to stay over there, too, so that we can be an empire. You know? Bingo. That's what this is all about, Aaron. Thank you for that call. Yep. So, and that's why I'm on this one. I'm with Trump 1,000%. CJ in Boston, you're up next. Go ahead, CJ.
Jeff, thanks for taking my call.
My
Thanks,
pleasure.
Brittany, RKO, and I for being the voice of not only Massachusetts, but of America and of patriotism and the Constitution.
Thank you.
Thank you, CJ. I would like to say they need to pull out. We are not the policemen of the world. We need to defend our country. And if Donald Trump does the right thing, and I hope he does, is send those National Guard troops down to the Rio Grande, right along the border, and put up a FEMA camp there, pick up every DACA individual, bring them down to the border, and tell Congress on Independence Day, on the 4th of July, if you don't come up with a resolution to place that wall in place, they all go back.
CJ, I like it. Interesting. Very interesting. CJ, thank you for that call. Jerry in Woburn. Jerry, I literally have 1 minute. The floor is yours. Go. Jerry? Did we lose Jerry? Hello? Okay.
I guess the floor is yours now.
I guess the floor is mine now. Okay, my friends. Please, I urge all of you, go to WRKO.com/Kuhner, Kuhner. Click on Kuhner's Corner. It's on the menu button, the menu tab. My column, David Hogg, Liberal Punk, is out. Please read it. Pass it on. Tomorrow, are we in a trade war with China? And is it a good or a bad thing? We'll discuss it tomorrow. I gotta go. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer. And together, we're cleaning up the liberal bull.
The Kuhner Report is powered by Kelly Financial Services. Cleaning up your financial bull. Get the peace of mind that you deserve at Kelly Financial Services. The voice of Boston is you. On 680 WRKO Boston, an iHeart radio station. It's 3 o'clock.